What's up, my writing weirdos? Hey, it is BC again, and I have day 2 of insomnia. So that means that y'all get to spend a little more time with me doing some writing sprints for productivity. Or hell, I don't know, do whatever you feel like doing at this point. You could do writing sprints, you could do art, you could do cleaning your house, you could feed yourself like a reasonable adult, whatever it is that you feel like doing during these sprints. Mainly, I'm up, I'm awake, I'm wired, I'm half brain dead. I don't know. My brain's not working the greatest, but I figured I might as well pop on here like I've been popping on for the last night, twice yesterday that I ended up getting on here and doing some writing sprints because, well, if I'm going to be up, then I figure I might as well spend some time with some of my weirdo friends online. So I know there is a few, thank you, Key. Yes, the hallucinations are just for me right now. It is the insomnia special. Day 2, I did get a little bit of a cat nap yesterday. I got about 2 hours worth of sleep between that first sprint that I did at like dark 100 in the morning and the second sprint that I did later on in the morning. I did get about 2 hours of a dozy type of cat nap before the cats decided that they were going to use me as their personal play trampoline and woke me up, of course, because my partner was up for the day. So, and I think I nodded off sometime during a Scooby-Doo marathon last night on the couch. I had kittens laying on me and they were sleeping, and I'm pretty sure I nodded off for about a good, like, an episode or two of Scooby-Doo. I'm not entirely sure, but something like that. But basically, I am just trying to, like, fill my time right now because me being really idle is bad at the moment because with the new house and getting ready to close on it, where I have like massive amounts of anxiety, which I'm sure is what's feeding into my insomnia. But there's nothing I can do about it because until we close on this damn house on Friday, I am going to be super insomniac from what I understand or from what I figure just based on these last 2 days. So that'll be the big thing. You guys will probably see me popping up for a lot more of these streams this week because I am fighting some insomnia. So we got a few people here already. We got Jennifer Brown that was just clarifying that I am actually going live and that YouTube did not forget to cancel. I do feel bad for everybody that popped into that one pop-up that I had last week that I ended up canceling because I just didn't feel very good. And for some reason, YouTube didn't cancel it. Usually when I cancel it on StreamYard, it gets canceled on YouTube and there's not a problem. But I'm glad that you clarified, Jennifer, and that you are here with me this evening. That would be really cool to spend some time with you and get some writing done. Let me see. There are some other people. Ms. Clara Applefire, hello to you too, writing weirdo. And I am glad to have you here for the first time on my channel doing writing sprints with me. I tend to do 15-minute sprints, Clara, just so you know. I don't know why. I just really like them. I can get into the zone, but I don't get so far into the zone that I can't come out of it and, like, be halfway engaged in the conversation afterwards. So, let me see here. Hope that I go the entertaining route. I don't know. I try to be entertaining. I don't really try to be entertaining. I just be me, and me is me, and me is weird. So I don't know. Some people tell me that's entertaining. Some people tell me it's obnoxious. Either way, I don't really care. It's just me. So good to know, Jennifer. Thank you. That either half dead, half brain dead, or entertaining is when I'm really funny. So I feel like I just ramble a whole lot. So always good to see you, Key. Glad that you are here tonight for my insomnia special, as you put it. I love it. If the brain isn't working the greatest, take B complex. I take B complex every day. So that's just part of my, I live with chronic fatigue, And so it's part of my daily ritual of vitamin supplements that I take to help manage my chronic fatigue. But it really does help. If I miss it or if I skip it or something, like I'm out of my B complex, I notice that. And my L-carnitine, if I'm out of that, I notice, and my vitamin D. Those I all really notice if I'm out of, and I don't take them for some reason, like I'm out of them. Hey Sage, how's it going in South Africa today? I mean, like, you're like my tap for the whole like South Africa. You know everything that's going on in South Africa. I just assume that. So anyway, good to see you. That is good to know, Sage, that I'm always entertaining. Like I said, I try to make coming to my streams interesting and fun, especially when I'm on here all by myself. I think they're more fun when I have a co-host, but I'm not going to make anybody be up at midnight my time to co-host with me when I didn't even know until an hour ago that I was going to do this, because I've been laying in bed for like the last hour. I was laying in bed for like the last hour and a half before I got up and was like just kind of doing one of those tossing and turning things, and my brain wasn't really doing anything. It's not like my brain was like on anything. It's just like my body was like, you know, you were tired earlier and you refused to go to sleep at that point and you wanted to go to sleep at a normal time. So screw you. I'm not letting you go to sleep at this normal time. So my body was just like, whatever. Key says, damn, I have to split my attention between you, my writing, and Quarter Virus. She's streaming art on Twitch. Oh my God, she's so good. I do not know who Quarter Virus is. I may have to go and look her up on Twitch. But it is perfectly fine if you have to split your attention just a little bit. I will not be hurt at all, Key. You come for most of my streams most of the time, so I'm not hurt at all if you got to split your attention just a little bit from me to the art stream on Twitch. All right. So what is everybody working on tonight? That's what I'm kind of wondering. And I know it's not tonight everywhere, but it's tonight for me. So I'm just going to refer to it as tonight for everybody all the time. So what's everybody working on at this point? I am still working on my third book in the Paranormal Mystery series that I already have out, the Metaphysical Chronicles series. I am finally into my climax chapter, so I am kind of super excited about that. I was really struggling yesterday during my streams, my pop-up streams, of which I had 2 of them. I was struggling with a very necessary scene that led into my climax chapter, and then I had just enough emotion going from it to like take that momentum and like really break through and start like the jumping off point of my climax chapter. So I am super excited about doing that tonight. So that's what I'm looking forward to tonight, and that's what I will be working on mostly. I'm sure my attention will be divided just a little bit because I tend to bounce around whenever I'm like this and I'm insomniac. I don't have the greatest of focus because I have ADD. I don't have the greatest of focus anyway, let's just face it. But I have ADD, and when I'm sleep deprived, it's even worse. So I tend to just bounce around quite a bit. So I'm sure you'll see me on social media a little bit. I'm sure I'll be doing weird stuff and watching videos and all sorts of stuff like that. And having just a fun time since I can't sleep. So let me see. He was saying that she's on Instagram too if I want to see some of her work. I will go on the first sprint. I will actually go and I will look her up on Instagram. Thank you. So Quarter Virus. I will look her up because I am always looking for more art channels right now, especially because I've been teaching myself how to draw and how to paint. And so I've been looking at various, I still have to have reference art, and I like to try to be able to take other people's, and that sounds really bad, to take other people's art, but I think that you know what I mean, to be able to take other people's art and translate it into my style. I can't draw yet from my imagination. I really wish I could, but right now I still have to draw from reference art, which is other people's art at the moment. So Sage says that they are headed into a cold front. So I am cold tonight too. So I had to like steal my partner's, what the hell is the name of this thing? robe. I had to steal my partner's robe for the night because he has the softest, fuzziest robe. So, of course, that's the one I stole. And he's not using it at the moment. He's fast asleep, snoring up a log with kittens sleeping on top of his head right now. So I totally stole it because we're having a cold front as well, which by a cold front in Arizona, I mean that it's like, a nice 70 degrees outside tonight. But that's cold for us. And it's because I guess there's crazy weather going on in the rest of the country right now. So I understand, being cold at the moment. So the country is raging because there's no clarity on what's happening. The press is being overruled by the ministers. It's a mess. Ugh. So you got a whole lot of crap going on. Slept really badly, so I'm considering it's still night, even though it's 9 a.m. I told my agent I'm staying in bed and we'll keep half an eye on emails. If you're like me, it'll be more like a quarter of an eye that you keep on emails, where you're just like, you're where you're doing that thing where you're just like, eyes are mostly closed and you're just looking through the lashes kind of a thing. That's what I do. That's what I do when I have to be awake and I have to be looking at something, and I have to be keeping an eye on something. But I call it my quarter eye effect because it's not even half an eye. Half an eye is me just being distracted and occasionally going back to it, but a quarter eye is what I do. Yeah, Dick, I am still not sleeping. I am glad that you had a chance to join, though. So that you just went for a run, which I am definitely not about to do that. I did consider taking my German Shepherd out for a walk, but since I did try to go to bed, I already got into my PJs and everything. And for me to get dressed at this point, I would possibly risk waking up my partner, which I don't want to do. Because he pulled an extra shift at work this week and he's already working like, an average of like 55 hours a week. So I really don't want to risk going back into the bedroom at any point to get clothes just to take my German Shepherd for a walk. But I really did think about doing it because, she would have loved it. It's nice and cool outside tonight. And, she's just always super excited whenever I walk her. So Jennifer is working on her debut YA contemporary suspense, and I'm still excited about my good news from earlier. Yes, your good news from earlier. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Where you had, it's on here somewhere. Yeah. That you had some really good news. As soon as quarantine is over, Jennifer is going to have some character art done for her story. So that is super excited. I absolutely love when I have character art done, and normally I'd be able to show you some, but with the packing and everything, it's all packed up. Some of my favorite art that I have in my house is character art that I've had done from my different stories that either fans have done or I've commissioned or friends have just done for me, which has been really cool. I'm really glad that you were able to find an artist that you like that you like their style and it's going to work well for you. Let me see. Back down to where I'm at. Maybe, now damn, it just jumped on me entirely. Hey, Alley Cat, good to see ya. Sakutumi, hey, my weirdo sister, how you doing? Sakutumi is my regular co-host for AuthorTube Karaoke, which I host once a month on my channel, and she is absolutely amazing. She does Witching Hour writing sprints. She does a writing sprint every Saturday morning, which is way too early on Saturdays for me to get up and join, but I try to every so often, at least I try and catch the replay every so often. Well, I catch the replay all the time, but I've been trying to get up. I promise at some point, Sako, I'm going to get there one of these days. So for Claire, right now it is 5 o'clock. I'm doing something other than creative writing. It's in Japanese, ouch. But after the first or second sprint, I should get to working on your book. That is cool. That is cool. So I have right now in my third book that I'm working on in the series, I have a combination of Korean and Irish Gaelic that is in that book. So I'm having to like work on translations from both, which slows down my writing quite a bit, but still having a lot of fun. So Sage is on to the next script. I was so happy that you were able to get your script done on my streams that I had yesterday. So that made me incredibly happy that that you were able to get that done, because you were able to get your script tackled, and I was able to get my hellacious scene tackled. So redrawing is a perfectly valid way to learn. That's what, that's what I figure. Everybody tells me anyway, it's perfectly fine. And it's not like I'm selling the art or anything like that. I'm learning how to draw. It's just sketchbooks full of learning how to draw. I have my work email on my phone with a really loud and annoying notification on it. That's all I have on my phone is really loud and annoying notifications because of my hearing issues. I always feel so bad sometimes when I'm live streaming, and I remembered to put it on vibrate tonight, but sometimes when I'm streaming and doing stuff, I totally forget to put my phone on vibrate because obviously I can't hear vibrate. And if it's sitting on my desk, then I can't hear the vibrate and I don't know if a notification is coming through. So sometimes I'll forget to put it on there, and like other people have to remind me that my really loud, annoying, and obnoxious like notifications, my really loud and annoying, obnoxious notification sounds are going off because I barely hear them and I forget how loud they are for everybody else. Yeah, I can imagine that running does not help with sleep. It might for me because I'm hugely out of shape. So it might actually, I might just be like dead afterwards. So Alley Cat might read through their novel and edit or read tonight. Let me see here. Man, AuthorTube. No, nothing's wrong with AuthorTube, but something's wrong with my brain apparently. StreamYard is just jumping all over the place tonight. It sucks that your YouTube is glitching out. I hate when that happens. It drives me nuts. Everybody saying hi to each other. Everybody saying hi to each other. Oh, yes. Another thing about my wonderful co-host for AuthorTube Karaoke, Sako Toomey, is that she has #WitchyAuthorTube that she is the creator of, and it's something that people should definitely check out. It's okay. My mind, I don't even know where my mind is right now. Where is my mind? Where is my mind? Okay, anyway. I don't even know where my mind is at right now. So your mind can be all over the place at the moment. Mine is completely scattered. Okay, so I think that is pretty much everybody. I got caught up on saying hi and hello and welcome to all my weirdos on the stream. So I think I want to just go ahead and jump right into a writing stream. We're going to do 15 minutes. So let me get that up on the screen for us. There we go. So, and we will do a 15-minute sprint, and then we will come back and share our stuff, and I will probably talk your ear off for a little bit longer, and then we'll try and do some more writing after that. How's that sound? That's my plans, at least. All right, so in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sprint! Okay, that is our first 15-minute sprint down. Everybody tell me how you did in the chat, and let me know if you haven't let me know yet what you're working on, then let me know what you're working on. I managed, it would help if I actually like did my word count before I like the end of the sprint, but no, I just sit there for the last like 30 seconds like a moron and just stare at it, and that way I don't miss anything. I did 265 words that sprint, which I am not unhappy with for the first sprint of the night. I haven't written for basically the rest of today or the rest of the day yesterday. I don't even know what to call days anymore because I haven't slept in 2 days now more than 2 hours, and those were just pretty much dozing. So, but anyway, yesterday's sprint that I did, the last sprint that I did, that was the last time that I actually wrote during. So I spent the rest of the time vegging out and watching Scooby-Doo and eating like Chinese food and stuff. So, hey, White Mitzo, welcome to my stream. I don't think I've seen you here before, so welcome, my writing weirdo. We are doing writing sprints. So basically for 15 minutes at a time, we all go dead silent and just work on whatever it is that we're working on, with whether or not we're writing. Some of us are drawing, some of us are cleaning our house. I don't know. Some of us are just reading, whatever you just decide that you want to do. Thank you, Alley Cat, for letting them know in the chat. I was a little in the zone, so I didn't see it right away. Clara, I got the work done. That is good to know. So you got your work done, so you can start working on some other stuff now. Sage got a couple of paragraphs done. That's good because I know you're working on a whole script for your video, so that is very good. Alley Cat didn't write anything since I was waiting for my family to sleep, so I didn't have to keep them up. So how would your writing keep them up? Is it, I mean, just like, or did you just have to do like the thing where you have to do like mom duty and you have to like put kids to bed kind of a thing, and then you can do your writing and stuff like that? So I guess it's understandable. Sage says word count is 303, but that includes some of my script template stuff. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, even though it's script template stuff, there can't be that much template stuff that you have in there. So, or it would wake some of them up if they weren't deep asleep. Just with the clickety clack, I guess. I don't know. Being mostly deaf, that I can't hear crap, so the clickety clack doesn't bother me anymore. Key got jack shit done. Hey, it happens. Don't worry. I should have been reading, looking for inconsistencies and missing scenes. Instead, I watched Quarter Virus's stream. That is okay. Don't sigh about that. You're watching some art, some beautiful art unfolding before your very eyes on Twitch. That is not a bad thing. We got to have input too. We got to have creativity flow into us so it can flow the frick out of us. Jennifer is researching some stuff. And Sage is wanting to know if that is a Shaun of the Dead profile pic, White Mitzo. Which that's one thing I hate about StreamYard is you can hardly see that looks like a Shaun of the Dead profile pic, because I am pretty sure that is. And get yourself a pint at the pub. This is what it looks like to me. Sage says, yeah, this topic is easier to write than yesterday's just because of how broad yesterday's topic was. So I find that those really broad videos eat up way more of my time, and they're so much harder to do than the really specific videos. And I think part of it is because because I want to go into detail. I want to explain better what's going on. So like it's hard for me not to go into the amount of detail that I want to go into. So I think those really broad topic videos are harder in that instance, when you would think they would be easier because, well, you're not having to go into as much detail. But Alley Cat says, my mom doesn't like to go to sleep until everyone is asleep and would keep coming to tell me to sleep. Usually if I wait a bit and let them sleep, they don't wake up when I leave the room. Okay, I understand that. I understand that. And Clara can start working on my book finally. I'm quite happy because I made good progress yesterday and I have a ton of motivation. Well, I am happy to be here for you and hopefully continue that momentum that you have going. It is indeed a Shaun of the Dead profile pic. Sage, huzzah! Love the Cornetto trilogy. Yes, even The World's End. If that makes sense, I wait for them to sleep, then I don't wake them up since I'm still up. No, I understand completely. I am, like, normally I would be, sorry that you can hear the dog probably lapping at the water in the background because the roommate's pit bull is a noisy drinker, so we get in the background. But anyway, that's her back there, as a matter of fact. You can kind of see the little dog cameo making an appearance. Hey, Gypsy girl. Hey, Gypsy girl. Did you have a good walk? Did you have a good walk? Yeah. Good girl. But yeah, no, that perfectly makes sense that, like, when you leave the bedroom so you can go to the living room where the laptop is. I understand that because the, you know, like me trying to creep out of the bedroom earlier so I didn't wake my partner up on my way out here to the dining room. That was, yeah. That's always a thing. I'm always worried that I'm going to wake him up on my way out just when I have insomnia like this and I can't sleep. Yeah, shame that kind of faded out of the spotlight for the last few years. Missed their movies. Yeah. Alley Cat, or Sage is saying to Alley Cat, I understand that I used to share a computer with my whole family. The only time I could use it was after midnight when everyone else went to bed, but then I'd get yelled at for being up. Oh, the joys of still living with the parentals and or with people that just care that you're awake at the weirdest hours. Like we can't figure out how to manage our own bodily, like, regulatory need. Actually, I can't figure out how to manage my bodily regulatory needs apparently because I can't sleep. So, you know, there is that. But the good news is that I've had a ton of motivation, at least, to write. It's not like I've just been like vegging out in front of Netflix, although I did veg out today in front of Scooby-Doo for quite a while. But it's Scooby-Doo, and I had Chinese food, and I just wanted to just chill for a bit. And I was hoping to sleep, although all I did was really do like a little, I don't know, like 20, 30-minute dozing cat nap, quite literally, pun intended, since I had kittens sleeping on me. Which I would totally show off the kittens, but they are currently the crown that my partner is wearing in bed. That is where they love me all the time, but when we go to sleep, they are like right up on his head and sleeping on his head every night. It's adorable looking. It is so freaking adorable. These two tiny little cute kittens. Just like all wrapped around his bed head. Says for sure, I am quite excited to see how the Stolen Pictures adaptation of Rivers of London series. Even if Edgar's not involved, I have high hopes. Alley Cat to Sage. I did have my own laptop that I could just bring into my room, but it broke. I've come to the realization that if I still had my laptop and brought it into my room, the lowest, brightest setting is still too bright, and my room is next to my parents while our living room isn't, so it's safer. Yeah. That's one of the main reasons that when I had to move out of my office, like while we're packing and getting ready to move, since I had to move out of my office, that's one of the main reasons that we put me in the dining room, because it's as far away from the bedrooms as we could possibly get, so that if I have a light on in here, it's not a big deal. It doesn't keep everybody, like if I were just one room over and I were in the living room, then the light would shine down the hallway and everybody would be kept awake and it would be really a problem. So we ended up putting me in the dining room like corner for that reason, so that, and like facing me away from the bedrooms, so that I could like talk normally and be my normal vivacious self. Okay. And just be me on a regular basis and still not like disturb everybody in the house during the wee hours of the morning, which is when I would disturb the roommate. And then during the wee hours of the night when I can't sleep, which is when I disturb pretty much everybody. So, because unlike me, the rest of the folks in my house can hear properly. And so I try to be respectful and I try to be nice about not being too loud. And I try and tiptoe around a little bit, although a deaf girl tiptoeing around is kind of hilarious. So she says, that makes sense. My dad eventually got me a laptop for my 21st birthday, and then my family really never saw me. Yeah, when we get our stuff and we like get into our own like cyber worlds and doing stuff like that. I get into my writing and then like people just see the back of me all the time, or they just see like the top of my head because I'm busy working. Speaking of working, we should probably do another one of those sprints. I'm thinking it'd be a good idea. Everybody still want to do 15 minutes, or do you want to do something a little longer? Do you want to do like a 20-minute sprint or something like that? Just let me know in the chat if you want to do something different. We will adapt to what everybody in the sprint wants, or everybody in the stream wants. While y'all give that a thinky, I will go and check my Facebook. Let's see what's going on. Wonder what's going on Twitter instead. Or no, we'll check Instagram first. Oh yeah, I was gonna go look up quarter virus during the sprint, and I totally forgot. So I should do that right now. I'm gonna do that right now. Quarter virus on Insta. Oh yeah, you're right. Damn good style. Thank you for turning me on to her. So cool. Oh wow, I got like lots of shit on Instagram. Apparently I was clever or something on Instagram, or visually clever. Is it still clever if it's just visual? I don't know if it's still clever if it's just visual. Official account. Let's see who this person is. I don't speak that language, so it's pointless for me to see those writing prompts. I don't read that language. So they can follow me all they want. Yep, apparently I was very clever and lots of people liked it on Twitter yesterday and tonight. Although I wasn't all that clever tonight. I just told people that I was streaming so that they should, come and check it out if they're up to. Not much going on Twitter. I'm sure there's like a hot mess going on Twitter at the moment, but all right, so sprint is good. So Sage says 20 minutes sounds good. Alley Cat is fine with whatever. We'll do 20 minutes per Sage's request. Let me go pull up a different timer, because I will have to do that. Let's see. So for those of you that like the timers that I'm using, none of them are my own created timers, but you should totally go and check out. I have a whole playlist on my channel, and you should just check it out, that has various timers that are everything from 5 minutes up to, I'm pretty sure, just up to 20 minutes, because I don't usually do sprints longer than 20 minutes. Because I get really antsy if I do a sprint that's longer than 20 minutes. Like, some people will do like 25 or 30-minute sprints, and by the time the 20-minute mark hits, I'm always like, I know I could keep writing more, and I know I could keep doing more, but my ADD just wants me to go squirrel. So, I don't know, Key. Chief, you're getting something done tonight. You're watching art videos. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so we will do this timer right here, because I am straight up missing my D&D. So we're gonna do something that kind of looks like a dungeon. There's probably gonna be an ad, so let me mute for just a second. Oh, no ad, yay! I like when there's no ad. Dang it, the stupid timer started again. I didn't want it to start yet. Okay. Share my screen. There we go. So a little 20-minute, kind of very dungeon-y looking. Because I am missing my D&D folks. As a matter of fact, I should probably check in with everybody and see how they're doing. I'll probably do that during this sprint a little bit, and do some writing, and try to do some writing as well. All right, so we are going to do our next sprint. So do whatever it is that you plan on doing during the sprint, and then we will see you in 20 minutes. All right. That is the end of the 20-minute sprint that we just did. Everybody let me know in the comments how you did. I know that Dick had to take off for, I'm guessing, his stream going on. I did not know that he had a stream on Mondays at dark 30 in the morning, which is what I'm calling this time right now. It's probably not dark 30 for him, but it is for me. So, and Doll showed up. Hey, my weirdo writing sister, how are you doing? Yeah, it's weird. I've got insomnia, and I've had it for this is day number 2 of my insomnia, and I've had just pretty much cat naps, and I figured I'm being productive, so I might as well be productive with other people and give people a chance to pop onto a stream if they want to pop onto a stream. I particularly like Alley Cat's response. Mentally, yes, we're awake. Physically, kind of. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling at the moment too. So how did everybody do on the last sprint? I did a whole bunch of different things. I got on social media. I checked in with my D&D group because it's been a while to see how they were doing. I went and just checked Instagram and Twitter and checked my messages and played around a little bit. Then I decided to write a little bit. I got a good idea for a video, so I made sure I plugged that into my content spreadsheet for different content that I can film coming up in the future. So I plugged that in there, and then I went and wrote. That's when I went and wrote, was after that. So I managed to get, and again, of course, I didn't look before the end of the timer. I managed to get 371 words that time, so I'm pretty happy with that. Slowly but steadily, I am getting there on this climax chapter. I had to go back and look at my notes. I don't have my big wall of outline right now, and it's driving me insane. I took a bunch of pictures of it before I packed it all up. And then I put them into my notebook that I have, and then, wrote a few notes in there about where they should be. I took a really big, broad picture, and then I took several small pictures of all of the little Post-it notes and all the little index cards and stuff like that. But it's driving me nuts not having my murder wall, which is what my partner calls it. So, I really miss having it. I'm used to just being able to look up or look to the side, depending on how I have my desk set up, because I change my desk around a lot. It's pretty much the only room in the house that I'm allowed to move the furniture around on a regular basis and change everything up. Because my partner, it gives him a huge amount of anxiety. Apparently, when he was a kid, he'd get up in the morning and his house would be decorated one way, and he would go to work and his mom would have an anxiety attack and she'd clean the whole house and she'd rearrange the whole house, and then he'd get home and it would be all different. And for some reason I used to do that too. I used to get up, go to school, come home, and my mom would have done that. I loved it. I was like, woohoo, it's a whole new house, kind of a thing. But it ended up giving my partner anxiety. I don't know if that's just because maybe his mom was in a bad mood because of her anxiety and cleaning the house, and then that was kind of a thing, or he didn't go into a lot of detail, just that surprise rearranging of all the furniture is a bad thing for him. So I don't get to move around stuff in the house very often, but I do get to do it in my office. So I move my desk around a lot, and so I'm always looking at different stuff for my quote unquote murder wall, as he likes to put it. And basically it's just a wall where I have I use a wall for my brainstorming, and that includes visual representations, index cards, Post-it notes. There's chalkboard stuff, there's dry erase stuff, there's string, and there's leaves or weird shit that I've picked up and reminds me of stuff, napkins or whatever that reminds me of stuff, weird little things I've drawn. And I put those all over the wall, and then I rearrange things so that my outline is still on the wall along with all my brainstorming stuff. So he calls it a murder wall. He says it looks like a serial killer's like shrine kind of a thing, but which I guess makes sense because I do write paranormal mysteries. I write about serial killers. So Sage did about 160 words, had a work email come through midway. Yep, work is really good about derailing you when you're getting some stuff done. Clara, I got a lot of writing done, but forgot to check my word count before I started, so I don't know how many words I got in. I do it all the time. I wouldn't worry about it. You know you got some stuff done, and that's important. That's what's important. It's not the actual word count itself. Key, I've just been reading through, checking for issues. No issues found aside from basic line editing stuff. That's good. That's really good. Sage, and I got another dodgy DM. I only ever get DMs from scammers and bots. I get a lot of really dodgy DMs too. So, I get regular DMs. I don't just get, scammers and bots DMs. But on my Instagram, I get a lot of scammers and bots on my Instagram. Let me see here. Alley Cat got 80 words. 80. I can't talk all of a sudden. 80 adding words to editing was also listening to music. And Doll, in customary fashion, overstayed that sprint. That's okay. Video is almost done. Some details still missing. Yeah, I have a current video that I split it into 2 different videos because it was going to end up being like 20 or 25 minutes long if I had kept it all in one video. So I ended up like pulling out a whole bunch of stuff that can then make a second video, but now it's got a whole bunch of stuff missing that I'm going to have to go back. Like it has an introduction that's missing because before the introduction for the other video led into, but this one, I'm going to have to go back and I'm going to have to do like a new introduction, and I'm going to have to do like some filler stuff, which I think I can do with just some voiceover work and some B-roll that I have. Maybe, maybe not. I'm probably still going to at least have to do my opening hook to the video. So, Sage, yeah, Instagram is just flooded with scammers and bots. Yeah, it is pretty bad. It is pretty bad. I mean, I can let Sage talk for herself. I know where Sage is located at, but I can let Sage talk for herself on where she's located. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited. I had to like look at my notes because I with my climax chapter, I actually I don't introduce like never before been mentioned kind of a thing, but I introduce a new character into my climax chapter. She's been mentioned, but she's been in the hospital up until this point, and now she's finally been released. And so I had to go back and look at some of her stuff because I haven't been writing her up until now. And I had there were a couple of question marks that I had in my notes about her in general. So that was a lot of my sprint, was going through and just almost researching my, this character, this secondary character who is pivotal to the climax chapter of my book. So. Let me see here. Sage did a major cull of accounts I was following on Instagram, and I feel like I'm actually seeing the people I care about now. That's really good. I did the same thing pretty recently. I went through and got rid of a bunch of, not that I don't want to follow social justice causes and things like that on Instagram. I really do. But I had so many of them that it was like edging out people that I actually knew and people that, even if I didn't know that particular person, the content that I cared about seeing, it was just edging out all of it, and I could never get through all of it. So I ended up calling out a bunch of those accounts recently and going through then and seeing about people that I just really don't care for their content anymore. Like I added them maybe because I know them. But their content really isn't anything that like speaks to me, or or is anything that like influences any part of my life really, other than I just happen to know that person. So I had added them. So I went and did that recently too. Oh, yep. Gotta go check it out when the doggos are freaking out about something. And so Sage was answering Doll saying that she is in South Africa. So Doll is going to fix that and making an international writer tag so that she can give Sage a shout out as well. That is pretty cool. Doll is an amazing person that shouts out so many people, promotes so many people. And I love that about you, Doll, that you don't hesitate to like promote other people and support other people. Not everybody is that selfless and that giving all the time. And you remember everything, which is just awesome, because you're always like, I know this about this person and this about this person and this about this person. And you just remember everything, and you can just like shout it out all the time. So I think that's just cool. For me, especially because I have a terrible memory, like absolutely terrible memory. So it's cool to me when somebody can just remember stuff off the top of the head, but then it's even more cool that you're just really nice like that. Key was saying causes do tend to be louder than more personal content simply due to the yes, they do. And I also, they know how to. I mean, they have a following, and the analytics is simply, it crawls what has a bigger following before it crawls what has a smaller following, which is usually personal accounts. I did not know that Misha Garrick was in South Africa as well. That is pretty cool. Doll, I try my best and I love the community. Yes, I love the community as well. So that is, I think I was so surprised when I came to AuthorTube to begin with on just how supportive the whole community was. Not that I was, I mean, I wasn't surprised because like any one person particularly, because any one person particularly surprised me. I was surprised just because the community on a whole is so incredibly supportive, and is just, I know that there's been drama or whatever in the past, and that there's sometimes drama going on, which you're always going to have that when you have a large group of people. There are always going to be bad apples, but it surprises me how little drama there seems to be in a very large community of people, and I freaking love it. I'm in so many other groups that are huge, that are just like, there's so much drama and there's so much cattiness and like infighting that just drives me nuts. And I don't feel like, at least the part of the AuthorTube community that I witness and that I am part of, I don't feel like that happens, which is really nice. Misha is also in Doll's list of international shout outs too. And Key is saying social justice started out as a good thing, but I'm afraid it's been blown up into a cult. It's gone off the rails. Yes and no. I mean, I agree with that statement. I still believe that it does do a lot of good, so that it can have, that it still can have a positive impact on things. Okay, what do we say we do another sprint? I think I'm gonna go back to 15 minutes, and we will, since we have Ms. Doll here with us, we will use Ms. Doll's timer. while my really slow computer decides to load up. All right, let me get going here. I'm going to try and really focus in this particular sprint on just doing the whole writing for the whole sprint, because I need to do the build up for this new character a little bit before they actually get into the confrontation with the antagonist. Not that it needs a lot of build up, the character just needs a little bit of build up so that they understand why, so readers understand why this new character is suddenly being like dragged into the moment. Plus, on top of that, the character is younger, is a young adult, and she's only 19 years old. Or is she? Wait. I'm sorry, she's only 17 years old. So I'm sure they're going to be wondering why this one of the secondary characters that's in this particular scene is her mom. And I think readers would be wondering why she would be bothering to bring her kid with her when going to confront the bad guy of the story. So I think I want to make sure that I explain away the importance of this character being in this scene and why it's absolutely crucial to her being in this scene, and why a mom would kind of blatantly disregard some potential danger. Not a lot of danger. It's not like she's like putting her kid in like harm's way or anything, but there could be some little bit of emotional feedback from it. And the antagonist in my book is really, I think, was really quite unique in that they're an antagonist, but they're set up like a secondary character for most of the book, and you don't really realize that they're an antagonist. And they are an antagonist, but it's a bad guy for all the right reasons. If that's, on a whole kind of makes sense. Let me see here. Sage is saying that there's another South African author tuber. Can't remember her channel name, but off the top of her head, her name is Donna de Oliveira, which I probably mispronounced her last name, but it's close. Dogs are freaking out because someone was driving by repeatedly. I think they're lost, but they're on the phone, so hopefully they figure it out. Yeah, they probably are just lost. But it's good that you have the doggos and that they are there to make sure that, that you're safe and all. Doll hasn't seen Donna's channel yet. Sage, you should make that tag. And her channel is Donna Jo Writes. I will have to go and look her up as well. Actually, I'll just do that right now. Donna Jo Writes. Another person I could follow. I'm always excited. My computer being so slow. My computer is always slow when I have StreamYard open. I have multiple YouTube tabs open. I have, here we go. Cool. I have, social media open. I've got my Google Docs open. So when I've got all of that going on, then my channel or my computer is always kind of slow. Okay. All right. I have also gone and subscribed to her, as well as Doll went and subscribed to her. So we'll get to see more from Ms. Donna Jo Writes. All right, let's do this other sprint thing. So we are going to do another 15-minute sprint, and we are going to use Ms. Doll Cecile Runo's, one of her created timers for it. And sprint! All right, that is the end of our 15-minute sprint using Doll's timer. Let me know over in the chat how you did. And I was really productive on my, I was actually really productive on pretty much just my manuscript this time, with the exception of going and adding those 2 author tubers and subscribing to those 2 author tubers real quick. Which, speaking of which, if you are not subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love you if you would do so. I post on a fairly regular basis, and just having subscribers really helps support the channel on a whole. So go ahead and get weird with my subscription and my notification buttons if you haven't had a chance to do so. For those that have done that, thank you so much. It means so much to me that you care enough to follow and subscribe to my videos. Ms. Tamara Woods popped in for just a moment. She was headed out to bed, but she saw the pop-up and just wanted to say hi. So I hope you sleep well tonight, Tamara, and I hope you have a good night overall. I wish I were sleeping right now. I do. I'm feeling it a little bit. My body is starting to feel it. I wish my brain were starting to feel it. I mean, my brain is feeling it. My brain's feeling like ditzy and spaced out and blah, but not enough for me to go to sleep at this point. I know if I went and laid down, my brain would just be like, psst, psst, hey you need to be doing some other stuff right now. And oh, don't forget, you're closing on your house on Friday. You can't forget that you're closing on your house on Friday. That's all my brain keeps doing. That's all it keeps repeating. It's like this cycle of, you're closing on Friday, you're closing on Friday, you're closing on Friday. And that's all that it is. It's just driving me nuts. Ms. Alicat did 275 words and then switched to editing a short story. That is awesome. Yes, Doll, thank you very much for being subscribed. Appreciate it. Sage did nothing. Spent most of that sprint arguing with Mr. Sage via text message about whether he is allowed to fetch food and water from his folks on Saturday or not. I say no. He says yes. It's always so much fun having a little, especially an argument with your significant other via text. It's always just so much fun. Thank you, Key. I appreciate it. Don't forget, people, the like button prefers to be blue. Gray is just depressing. Yes, and Sage says that the like button likes to be gently caressed, just gently caressed. So Alley Cat will be writing on a short story, not editing on a short story. So Key is still reading through, found a section that they have to rewrite. It's boring and it should not be. Yeah, those are not always fun when you have to rewrite a section because you realize it's just, there's not enough tension and it's not enough, just not enough going on. So let me see how many words I did this last time. I didn't say how many words I did this last time, I don't think. I might have. I don't know. My brain's not working. It's not working at all. So this last time I did, not nearly as productive as I thought I was. I did 376 words. I felt like I wrote way more than that. Maybe it was just like how heavy the content was that I was writing at the moment. So that could be it. Or maybe it was just a little wishful thinking that I had done a lot more than what I had done. Thank you very much for giving me a like. I appreciate it. The importance of the likes really isn't for me to feel the love, although it does make me feel the love and I appreciate it. It's so that the streams get out more, so that the bots crawl it, and that the streams get out more to people who are looking for productivity sprints and things like that. So that's what's important to me, is that we get more people into the AuthorTube community and more people being productive with their writing. And that's really what the like button does for me. And so that's why I am always all about asking people to go ahead and give me likes, not to like inflate my ego. If you want to inflate my ego, you just go become a Patreon on my Patreon channel, and that inflates my ego. And that shows me all the loves, because it really does help me, really does help support the channel. But the likes are specifically so that we get more people out there, so that the analytics, not the analytics, so the algorithm, that's the word I was looking for, so that the algorithm grabs me and recommends my stuff to people who are looking for it. So Doll says, after I finish this video, I will be writing a short story while the video exports. Don't blame you. If I can multitask, I multitask when I can. Sage says, the lockdown is being eased, not lifted as of next Monday, but visiting friends and family is still prohibited. I would prefer that he not go against lockdown rules, especially as we're both high risk. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're winning this particular argument, or at least you're winning it for all the right reasons. Whether or not you actually win is another matter, because guys, they be totally stubborn. My partner is actually really good about the fact that, see, our lockdown was eased, although you wouldn't know it by looking around. Everybody thinks it's like spring break all of a sudden, and everybody is out of their house and like cramming into bars and crap. It's driving me nuts. Just idiots, putting us all at more risk, but it was eased, and my partner's been really good about not going out and doing more than the exposure that he already has to have with his jobs. So that's been a really good thing. Of course, we also got quite a scare. He was sick with bronchitis for a couple of weeks, and it was pretty bad. We had quite a scare thinking that he actually had the virus, and fortunately he tested negative for it, but it was just a nasty case of bronchitis. And so we had quite the scare, and we were all about the cleaning and the washing hands and the wearing masks and wearing gloves and everything. So we just kind of have maintained it since then, because I don't want anybody else getting sick just because I might be asymptomatic. Key says that they too are high risk, so I get to continue being a hermit for the foreseeable future. Being immune compromised sucks. I feel you. I have a good friend who has been a hermit since well before the actual lockdowns in our state started happening. Just immediately, as soon as we started seeing the outbreaks in New York and Florida and California, she just immediately went into like self-quarantine and hasn't been able to leave her house. And I feel so terrible, because there isn't anything I can do other than be there on video calls and to be there through text message and just check up on her on a regular basis. I mean, she's got her husband and she's got her son with her in lockdown, so it's not like she's isolated and alone, which I'm grateful for, but I still just feel really bad, because for the foreseeable future, she's just going to continue to have to be in quarantine, self-quarantine, because everybody's being freaking morons and don't realize that they're screwing over everybody else. So Sage says, yeah, he's a grown man. If he wants to go, I can't stop him, although technically it's my car he drives, so I could just keep the keys from him. I think that would be a good idea. Whoops, the keys just get lost that day. It's amazing. You forgot to put them back on the hook where you usually keep them. Oh, who knows where they could be. It's just crazy what happens when, it's just very convenient that it happened to happen that day. Oh, let's see. I wonder what's going on Facebook at the moment. I'm sure you all really care about what's going on my Facebook at the moment, but I'm not quite ready to do another sprint yet. And although I probably should just do another sprint, but I'm not quite ready to do another sprint just yet, because I feel like we just got off the sprint and that we haven't even had much of a chance to chat. And I'm not sure that I could go ahead and make myself focus again right this second because brain issues going on tonight, that's for sure. But I am actually, just looking at this, I'm actually coming up on the 2-hour mark, so maybe there isn't even time for another sprint. I mean, I could go a little over the 2-hour mark. That wouldn't really matter to me, but I'm wondering if I should kind of just, wondering if I should do like a cool down, stretching, meditative type of thing. If you guys would like to have that, if you guys would like to have another full-blown writing sprint, let me know in the comments and we will do another full-blown writing sprint. If you would like to have a wind down 5-minute meditative, 5 or 10-minute meditative, then let me know. And we will do that. And then we will work on winding down my stream for the night. Apparently I'm talking so fast I just keep sucking in air because I just keep hiccuping and burping, and it's not pleasant at all. Key says, yeah, I've been a hermit since before the virus even showed up, since November of 2018. That is hermited. That is definitely hermited. Sage says, a municipal worker just showed up to cut the what's the verges? So the doggos are freaking out again. Silly doggos. What are verges? I'm curious. What's a verge? I need to know what that is now. Doll says that their mind is definitely not in place lately. Mine's been pretty good for the most part. I mean, I felt like I was going to be more scattered than I have been, with all the with the moving and the getting the house and all of that stuff. But I've actually been, with the exception that like recording my videos for YouTube has been I've been far more scatterbrained about doing that. I've actually been good about maintaining my schedule and keeping my regular routine going. And other than some just general anxiety about buying a house and doing all of that because we were also house hunting during quarantine, which it's really hard to pick a house even when you're doing a video walkthrough. There's nothing like walking into a house and actually physically seeing the space in relation to your own body and like legitimately seeing the colors of the walls with your own eyes versus what the video quality of somebody's cell phone is showing me. So we did a lot of that, and that was nerve-wracking and a pain. And then plus, when we could go out and we could physically see a house, having gloves and maintaining the 6 feet from the realtor at all times and trying not to touch things and still wearing masks and knowing that we were in people's homes and tracking through with stuff. I mean, we had like booties on our feet and like on our shoes and everything, just like trying not to track anything through. And it was like hands in our pocket, kind of a thing going through the houses. But we were fortunate that the house that we are buying had not been occupied for, I think like a month or so before. It was like a month or 6 weeks before we actually walked through it. And it had been, heavily cleaned and everything. And it hadn't actually had any other walkthroughs before us. So that was really nice to know that we were kind of safer doing that. Sage is saying, yeah, I'm a deep introvert. I hear you, Key. I'm not a deep introvert. I am an introvert, but I'm not, I do have my moments where I really want to be social. And usually I want to be social, but I don't necessarily want to interact. I want to be around people. I just don't want to interact with them. So usually I'll go to like karaoke by myself or something like that. Not recently, obviously, but I'll go to like karaoke or go to a coffee shop or something like that by myself, so I can be around people but not actually interacting with people. So Doll is saying that they have something in their mind that bugs them every now and then, but they're fairly good at keeping it at bay. I have a couple of things that are always there kind of at the back of my brain. I'm pretty good at keeping them at bay most of the time. So I know I can feel you where you're coming at from that particular angle. He says, I'll continue doing what I'm doing even after stream ends, so the length of the sprint is pretty irrelevant to me. Okay, that is good to know. That is good to know. Oh, Key, Verges, side of the road. I know that. I knew that. I don't know what I was even. Again, it's that whole sleep deprived for the last 2 days. So thanks, Key. I was struggling to define that. I was going like the sidewalk, but the grass. Yeah, the sides of the road. I knew what that was. I just, brain. I can't brain. I know brain right now. I know brain. Let's see here. He was saying that I'm an ambivert, but I had the tumor debulking surgery November 1st of 2018. The incision went from breastbone to the pubic bone. After that was chemo. Chemo ended in late February. Yeah, that's a very good reason to stay home and recuperate and get better. Hi, Christina. Good to see you. Welcome to my channel. I'm pretty sure you're new. I haven't seen you before, so hello, my writing weirdo. Yes, you are making a comic. It counts as writing. On my stream, basically during the sprints, you don't necessarily have to do writing. You can create art. You can do your laundry. You can feed yourself. You can take care of your kiddos. Do whatever it is you have to do. They're just productivity sprints designed to help us knock out some stuff. Most of us do some writing, so that, but totally making a comic, I think that counts as writing just the same. It's creating. So you are totally welcome to do that. Sage to Key, I understand Mr. Sage is 10 years post-transplant. Well, I'm glad that he was able to have his transplant. So I am really, really glad for that. Yep, more people just confirming, definitely, Christina, that it is perfectly fine if you do a comic during the sprints. So he says braiding is hard. Braiding is really hard. I haven't slept in 2 days. Braiding is so hard right now. It's not even funny. So I think I am gonna keep going for a little bit and do another sprint, because the only person that said anything so far is Key. And nobody else told me what they want to do. And I know I'm feeling pretty slap happy and goofy, but I also don't feel like going to sleep yet. Unfortunately, that's a crappy thing about insomnia. Okay, no problem, Christina, and welcome to my channel where we get weird about words in the ways that only writers can. That is pretty much what we do on a regular basis, and we talk about all sorts of stuff. I will do my best, Christina, to keep in mind that you are a kiddo. However, my channel is not necessarily for kids, content for kids. I do use language, so that I will do my very best to keep that in mind, okay? I can't make any promises, though. Sage, oh no, Sage, you lost the argument. Mr. Sage is ordering food that he'll have to pick up at his folks' place on Saturday. Oh, well. Okay, so maybe he could go and pick up the food, but maybe they could like set it outside for him, and then he could just pull up and pick it up at the door. He doesn't actually have to go in and like visit. He could still maintain social distancing from them, and like actual physical distancing from them, and not have to be as big a risk. So I don't know. I still would have just lost my damn keys. I just would have been like, whoops, honey, don't know what to tell you, sweetheart. Too bad. So sad. Alley Cat says, I need to use that from now on. Braining is hard. Yes, braining is very hard. Doll is happy with a sprint. You're always happy with a sprint. You're always happy to be productive and doing stuff. So Alley Cat also up for a sprint since not doing much. Oh, no problem, Christina. We will chat with you later at some point then. Have a good day, night, middle of the evening, whatever it is for you. All right, so we will go ahead and do another sprint. Then let me see. Let's see about doing, let's see, we started off with a 15-minute sprint and then we did a 20 and we just did a 15-minute sprint this last time. So I think maybe we should do a 20-minute sprint again this time. Let's see if I find a good 20-minute sprint that I want to use. Here we go. We'll use this one. Mute it just in case there's an ad. All right, no ads, so that's good. All right, I'll get this situated. So that's at the 20-minute mark. And then eventually I'll get it up on the screen and we can actually start. Well, that is definitely a consideration, Sage. If it's not worried that you're not worried so much about his folks, but worried about the police along the road. I would be very concerned about that too. That's a high amount of risk there. If it were just his folks, I mean, that's still risk, but it's far less risk. It's more of a bubble type of risk. But yeah, anybody in public service, that's a huge amount of exposure. So I'm going to shake my finger at Mr. Sage right now from another significant other. So no, that's bad. But he's still going to do what he wants to do. So, okay, let's go ahead and do this other 20-minute sprint and get a little bit more done tonight. And then hopefully we're all able to get through the majority of our projects for tonight. All right, so we'll go ahead and get going, and we will go this in 3, 2, 1, sprint! Okay. That is the end of our 20-minute sprint. Everybody let me know how you did in the chat. I feel like I did pretty good. Let me see what I actually did. I had a couple of things that I had to like brain my way out of because I thought I wrote myself into a corner at one point, but I didn't actually write myself into a corner because I had already brained it. But not working with my actual outline wall like I usually work with and just working off of pictures and some notes that I took. I had to go back through it and I had to like look very carefully at stuff and like comb through stuff in order to brain my way out of the corner that I thought I wrote myself into, but then realized I didn't. But looking through all that stuff, I realized I actually goofed a little bit and I have completely done a bad and forgot a character that I introduced just briefly about a chapter ago. And that character has really important information for my protagonist and should have given her that information before this climax chapter. So I've got to either figure out how to get it in now before the major part of the climax happens, or I've got to figure out what scene to put it in previously. So I realized that by looking through the I just totally like got my pin all caught in my hair. There we go. Looking through my notes and everything that I'd taken. So I have to figure that out. That's gonna suck now. If it ain't one thing, it's another. So that I'm gonna have to figure out. That went down the wrong pipe. All right. So Sage was saying, regards to her husband and being exposed to people when he goes out later, it's that they're right on the border, so they have a lot of patrols. Yeah, I would be worried too. So Key was saying that they are making progress, not the fastest progress, but they'll take it. I am doing the same thing. I'm not making the fastest progress. As a matter of fact, this last time was only another 317 words. But progress is progress, and I'm going to take the progress that I'm getting, especially with my brain doing the no brain thing at the moment. I'm just happy that I'm able to write it all while my brain is like only in like half mast mode. Sage's YouTube did a weird. What's the weird? What's the weird did it do? Did it like do a weird glitchy glitch, or did it do a like kick you out of the stream, or mine's done that before where I've been like participating in a stream and then all of a sudden it's kicked me out and told me that the content wasn't available, and then like as soon as I refreshed, the content was totally available and I could go back into it. Key says, okay, I'm awake. I'm taking it. That's your alarm clock sound? Is that why you're awake now? Yep. Key, yay, my word count shrank. Yeah, that's mine shrank too. So mine's not been great, but it's, slow but steady. I will totally tortoise this bitch if I have to. Be a total tortoise novel. It's not a problem. So Sage says 100-ish words. I'm not mathing today. Had a bunch of work emails and texts from Mr. Sage. The lab screwed up one of his blood tests and I had to draw even more. That just sucks. Dell says everything in the video is now ready. Now they only need to do is all of the names of everyone that they mentioned in the video, which is still really cool. That you're highlighting people. So that's cool. Sage says the man had just been given 3 units of blood and the lab keeps taking it from him. Yeah, there's somebody's not thinking particularly well. That sounds like a typical hospital. Yeah, as soon as they give you blood, they take it away. But we may have found the reason why he's not producing red cells despite having enough iron and everything. So that's good. Well, at least you've narrowed something down. The weird thing that her YouTube did was basically kicked him out, but auto refreshed, and so doing unliked my like. Rude. That's okay. That's all right. So the word count is at 127,255 words. It needed to shrink. So fantasy, I'm guessing? Fantasy or sci-fi? One or the other? Oh yeah, I could take this banner thing off of here now. Yeah, there we go. I can take that off of there. Yeah, so another 300 words. I'm not upset with it. It's been slow and steady, but again, I had to go back and I had to check my notes, and my notes are a big old hot mess. Because again, it's just like pictures that I took of my murder wall and a bunch of notes that I made in various different colors of ink pen, because that's the way I roll. I don't even color code really. I mean, I do color code with my Post-it notes and my index cards and stuff, but like with my pins themselves, I use a whole bunch of different colors of pens, with the exception of black, because I don't use black ink because it's boring and I hate using black ink. So I use blue and teal and pink and red and orange and purple and whatever other freaking colors I can get my hands on. So yes, Key says it is fantasy. Well, fantasy with elements of sci-fi, but mostly fantasy. Oh, sounds interesting. I love fantasy. I love fantasy and I love sci-fi books. If I had my way, that would be almost entirely what I read. I try to be a little broader in my horizons, though. So I throw in, like literary fiction, and I throw in historical fiction, and I feel like since I write women's contemporary women's fiction, I should also read it. So I make sure I read that as well, and transgressive fiction. I try to read everything that I write. But if I had my way and I had to pick what absolutely I was going to read, like for the rest of my life, it would be fantasy and sci-fi that I would read for like the rest of my life. Even though I write paranormal mysteries. I do read a lot of paranormal mysteries and a lot of cozy mysteries and just like police procedurals and crime thrillers and suspense and stuff like that. I don't read much in the way of horror. I probably should read a little bit more horror than what I read, but it's not really my bag. It's not really my thing. I love horror movies. Oh yeah, love horror movies, but not really into reading it so much. I do like horror comics. So, I mean, there's that. So I guess I do read more horror than what I thought I read. I just don't read it in novel form. Just in graphic novel form. Okay, this sounds interesting. Magic as an extension of quantum physics and gods as higher dimensional beings. Understandable. So the dark fantasy series that I'm working on right now, while magic is not an extension of quantum physics because I have no freaking clue about quantum physics, gods as higher dimensional beings, that I understand, because in my dark fantasy that I'm working on, the quote unquote gods are higher dimensional beings. So that I definitely understand. I just don't get quantum physics, so I can't obviously like create a magic system that is based off of quantum physics if I have zero understanding of quantum physics in and of itself. I mean, I guess I could just BS my freaking way through it, but I'd rather it be somewhat legit. And I have lots of people I could ask, but I don't want to do that. That may just be me being lazy too. I don't want to learn that, so I'm not gonna learn that. I just realized I'm getting really hungry. So Sage has to do more day job stuff. So I'm here, but only sort of. That's okay, Sage. I get it. It's day job where you're at, so you got to do your day job. We got to do what we got to do. I'm actually getting really hungry, so I think I might come to the end of the stream, as a matter of fact. So we could do that. Yeah, I've been streaming for a while now. These have pretty much been epic streams for the last, couple of days, because that's how I'm rolling the last couple of days. It's just staying busy. Food, Sage says. Yeah, I gotta figure out what I can eat though, because if I'm gonna try and go and lay down, I don't want to eat anything too heavy, but I'm actually really hungry at the moment. I got some leftover Chinese food, but that's, I think, gonna be too heavy to lay down with, and gonna end up giving me like really weird dreams, which I'm actually okay with, because that's what I base most of my stories off of anyway, is weird dreams or just the regular dreams that I have. So, Key was saying quantum physics is legitimately trippy. It's surprisingly easy to build magic as an extension of it. I can see that. I can imagine that it's pretty trippy. What very, very minutely little I grasp of it seems like it would be a good basis for a magic system. And again, that's based off of like the grain of sand that I understand about anything quantum physics related. Doll says, I am finally sleepy. Yay! Glad I can help out. I am not terribly sleepy still, but maybe if I eat, I am a little sleepy at this point, and I think my brain is at the point where it could shut itself up long enough, especially if I cram my tummy full of like yummy stuff. I think my brain might shut up long enough to actually let me sleep, which would be nice. It would be real nice. You are very welcome, Sage. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. I always enjoy you popping into the chat and keeping me company, so I appreciate it. And I hope I get some sleep soon too. I'm gonna try real hard. I've been avoiding, I know I could probably take like some Unisum or some type of sleep aid in order to help me go to sleep, but I've been trying to avoid doing that. Because I usually have a really adverse reaction to taking stuff like that. It makes me sleep for forever. But I'd rather not sleep for forever if I have a chance to, because tomorrow is, for those of you that aren't in the US or don't know, tomorrow is Memorial Day here in the US. And so my partner actually has the day off from both of his jobs, which is really nice. And so we've gotten it would have been a 3-day weekend, but he picked up a shift on Sunday, and got a little more, did that since he was going to have the extra day off for the week anyway. But it was a really short shift. It was just a few hours. So it is 6:45 in the morning where Doll is. So I can imagine that you might be sleepy. It is 2:45 my time right now. So Christina says that they are not sleepy because it is only 12:43 in the morning for them, or 12:43 in the afternoon for them. So yeah, I can imagine you're not sleepy at all. See, like I said, it's 2:45 in the morning my time. So I am getting pretty tired, especially for the fact that I haven't slept in 2 days. I haven't gotten much sleep in 2 days. I can't say I haven't slept because I've catnapped a little bit here and there. But for Key, it is 2:45 in the morning. Well, I have an idea where you're at then, Key. Or at least what time zone you're in. So, because you are in the same time zone as I am at this point. Okay, so with that, I am going to go ahead and get wrapped up. for the stream. I want to thank all of you for coming out to my pop-up stream. If you've not subscribed, go ahead and hit my can't talk anymore. Go ahead and get weird with my subscription and my notification buttons so that you can be alerted every time I pop up, because I do it on the fairly regular lately. And obviously I do live stream every Friday, regularly scheduled from 3:30 p.m. till 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. And so I will not, however, be live streaming this particular Friday, just to let those of you that are watching know, because I will be getting keys to my new house. So I will not be live streaming this Friday. I will let people know, however, that closer to the day that I will not be live streaming on Friday. But if I keep being an insomniac like I've been being, then expect some of these pop-up streams before then. So I want to thank you all so much. There's a bunch of links down below of people that do live streams, and you definitely should go and check them all out. Subscribe to them when you have a chance. All of the rest of my stuff is down there, my Patreon, my merchandise channel, even right down to the equipment that I stream with and stuff like that. So you can find all of that, including all of my socials, which you can pretty much find me on all of my socials at BC Brown Books. So thank you so much for coming out, and it is my pleasure to have hosted for the night. I am really glad that you all stuck with me and that you were able to get some stuff done. So good night, everybody. Sleep tight. Have a good day, have a good evening, have a good morning, whatever it is for you, and have some fun and keep getting weird about your writing.